There's just something special about shelling at daybreak as the first light of the morning paints the horizon. The quiet, the solitude, and the feeling that you have the entire coastline to yourself. Here in Bonita Springs on Florida's west coast this morning, we'll find lots of these tiny coquina treasures that I have big plans for. Beautiful rose petal tellins, both pink and white, that will become blooms that never fade. A beautiful lightning whelk and the prettiest curved half of a flat scallop that I have ever found. Calicos, carditas, and chips of the elusive Junonia are some of the shells waiting for us. Welcome to Florida Beach Walks. I'm Roxanne. Let's go shelling. Walking out here on Little Hickory Island to the pass area where there's a large sandbar to see what's out here this morning. The tide is kind of high, but this was extra special to actually see a rocket launch from the west coast. I'm on the east coast and I didn't realize that you could see launches so well from this coast. That was the Starlink Falcon 9 rocket. Starting off the morning with that little juvenile finding conch and a worm snail. Here is another little fighting conch. Two little perfect ones, and that island straight ahead is Big Hickory Island. We are on the northern tip of Little Hickory Island, and there is a turkey wing. Let's see, we got a little chewed up lace murex. But I am just finding lately, I'm just taking so much joy in all the shells, you know? Like, I love lace murexes when they're perfect, of course. But, you know, the beat-up ones have stories, too. And here is an olive. The last time I was here, I did find a little chip of Junonia. So I'm keeping my eyes out, see what we can find. All right, it's not Junonia, but it's a beautiful chocolate lightning whelk. Gorgeous. Man, when they get this dark color, they're so beautiful. And these can range like really light to caramel to this gorgeous chocolate brown. The big mamas of this species, when they get really large, are pretty white, but wouldn't that be fantastic if they were that rich dark color on a large mama? That would be something. Let's see. We got a a jewel box attached to a kitten paw. The bottom valve, and let's see, another lightning whelk, but this one's all curled up inside. That little plate is its operculum when the snail closes up inside. And these are black. These have a black foot or a black body. The males in this species stay relatively small, while the females can be really big mamas. Another kitten paw. And more kitten paws. Gonna collect a few of these so I can make some more shell flowers. It was Bonita Spring kitten paws that I started collecting and started making this shell into these beautiful shell flowers. Oh man, I just, yeah, totally obsessed with making shell flowers. But Bonita Springs definitely like kickstarted me on the kitten paw ones, and I absolutely love how these turn out. Here's a yellow prickly cockle, which I also have made into a flower. Another kitten paw and a jewel box. Gorgeous pink inside. The Florida spiny jewel box. Here's another lightning whelk, but it's on the move. You can see its little black siphon right at the tip there. Okay, let's get a little bit of a closer view. I love the West Coast for this. To be able to pick up live critters and check them out is just so amazing, because I don't do this all the time on the East Coast. I can like in the like lagoon type areas, river areas, but not out on the beach. But this is kind of the pass area. This is Big Hickory Pass. Some fish in the background. But just to see all these live critters, oh man, I do not take this for granted at all. This is just so special to me to run into these guys. And here's another one. This is a little darker one. Look at it just scuttling right along. I could watch these mollusks all day in the sand. Here is a sharp rib drill. These are so tiny, but they're so tiny and detailed. It just makes them so cute. Some broad rib carditas, a couple of those, and a hinged kitten paw, and a horse conch. It's not big, but hey, I found a horse conch. Always have the hope of finding a horse conch over here. And an itty bitty shark eye. We're going to use that for the center of one of the shell flowers at the end that I'll show you. Let's see, we got a worm. It looks like a Florida worm. So this morning there wasn't too much out on the sandbar, but the rocket launch and the sunrise were just so special. And to see the little critters, and even all the way back, I believe that's a manatee out there, which is just so spectacular to see right off the shore. I didn't get too close to it, of course, but just knowing all that is just so close. It was so special this morning, just so special. And then I started noticing a lot of these beautiful hinged coquinas. Check out that color. Coquinas are so variable and beautiful in all the different patterns and colors they come in. Here's a giant bittersweet and a calico, a little juvenile giant bittersweet. That was fun to see here on the West Coast. And another coquina. Yes, I found lots of them. They have some fun nicknames also, including bean clams, butterfly clams, pompano shells, and wedge clams. I'll find maybe one or two at a time on the East Coast in pairs like this. So I was just having a heyday. And while I was picking up all these coquinas, that is my mark in the sand, I saw spots. It's a little chip of a Junonia. Like, hello. If I was not down looking and picking up all these gorgeous hinged coquinas, I would have never seen that. Look at that purple, and that's just so beautiful. Yep. That is the piece of Junonia I found, and I was so excited. I was like, yay, 2 times in a row. But that's where my excitement ended, because I don't know what happened to it. I thought I put it in my Chinese container, but I can't find it. So it's lost. I have this beautiful memory, and that's it. I really hope I dropped it out there out on the beach so at least someone else could find it and didn't accidentally throw it away or something. Oh, here's a little bitty imperial Venus clam, another little East Coast favorite I am used to. Fun seeing that here. And more calicos. See, there's the Chinese container from Mitch with Edgewise Bijou. Thank you. And I paused that clip and I was like, do I see the Junonia in there? And I didn't. So maybe I stuck it in there and I thought it was going in, but I didn't make it in. I don't know. Cute apple murex. Those are so fun when they're tiny. Let's see. We've got another. Oh, I love these striped ones. And I ended up filling up this whole container, and I had a plan because I've always wanted to like frame coquinas, you know, like starting in the gradation of color, you know, the white ones and moving up to the yellows. And I had the opportunity to do this after this day. I was just so stoked. And I didn't find too much out on the sandbar, but I had planned. I was like, okay, where do I go next? I was debating, should I go to Sanibel? Should I go, like, stay in Bonita and try Lover's Key? So we'll head to Lover's Key State Park next. Oh, orange rough scallop. Little bit beautiful. Just a bunch of little fun treasures today. So yeah, I filled my whole container up and I was like, do I see the Junonia piece in there? It's gone. It's gone. So here we are at Lovers Key State Park. I've been here before with my children, before, my shelling channel, before really becoming a sheller when we started exploring all of the beaches in Florida, being tourists in our home state during COVID. That's how I fell in love with shelling during the COVID lockups. Okay, this is a little bit of redemption. One little tiny piece, but it's so small. Why couldn't I have lost this tiny one? No, I managed to keep that one. Beyond me. There's lots of chip shells all out here because I heard they had a renourishment project out here recently. Here's a chestnut turban. We had one on the East Coast in Delray, some more kitten paws and calico. So I am all familiar with shells in the sand. When they have these sand renourishment projects, they can be really fun to find a lot of shells. All right, the shoreline and shells looked about the same that were on Little Hickory Island, and we're going to walk south all the way around the bend to that pass area. See what's out there. Calico clam and another calico clam. I thought that was a calico scallop. Here's the calico scallop. A white calico scallop and another little colored one. And a lot of the same over here. A lot of the kitten paws. So I did collect a few more of those. But I was very happy to see tons of these coquinas as well over here. Like, is it coquina season? Is there a bloom, a time they all kick the bucket together? I don't know. Here's a beautiful rough scallop. I know on the East Coast, we'll have in a chestnut turban, we'll have an outbreak of bonnets. There'll just be bonnets everywhere. I mean, we picked up over 100 bonnets once at MacArthur. Well, my friend's daughter did another coquina in a Mexican Tellin. So I'm just wondering, is there, maybe this is the season or the time, gorgeous starburst calico, for those coquinas to pop out. Oh, that would have been fun to find that flat, round rib flat at that size. See, I just can't believe how many, and they're all just beautifully hinged, and I managed to keep a lot of them hinged as well. So that was really fun. I can't wait to show at the shell haul. I'll show you what I did with all of these coquinas, and I made coquina flowers as well. And this is a painted egg cockle. I applied a little different technique of turning some of them out, the petals out. And I just love how it turned out. Oh, I can't wait to show you. Some more painted egg cockles. And these stay relatively small, around an inch at their max size. A calico scallop showing off its stripes. Love the orange striped ones. Another, that's a pretty lavender color. Look at it, just littered everywhere. A baby's here. All right, something a little different to look at, but it's so itty bitty. Oh, it's so tiny and cute. Do I see my Junonia piece in there? I had emptied this one out when I was in the car driving here to Lovers Key, because I filled it up over there with coquinas, and I'm going to fill it up again over here. I couldn't help myself. There's so many beautiful ones. Look at this color. Okay, this was probably one of the favorite ones. Yeah, this was the favorite ones with that little orange ring around the end. Hello. And a lion paws piece. Okay, it's fun seeing a little East Coast normals over here. And a sand dollar, but unfortunately I did end up breaking this one when I was cleaning it. So we found a broken flat, but here is a flat also. It's just the curved half of it, and it's stunning. It's going to clean up awesome. And look at that orange one over here. Just so pretty. How are these clams so beautiful, vibrant, and different? Just someone please explain to me how these mollusks get these fantastic, fabulous colors. Because I legitimately want to know. They are white, but then they can be so purple, then so red. It's amazing. and a duck. A duck on the beach. So now I can say I have officially seen a duck on a West Coast beach and a duck on an East Coast beach. Yep, around, I think it was MacArthur also, on my East Coast, that I found a duck. I spy a speck of pink. Yay! A rose petal Tellin, and it's hinged on top of that. So now I'm off the beach. I rounded the south corner and I'm on the pass side where the water's a bit more still and you can find some more live critters like we did over near the Little Hickory Pass area. So some white Tellins and that sunray Venus clam and another pair of rose petal Tellins, but these are the white ones, and some of the white ones were so pretty. They had like a little delicate strip near their hinge of the pink, so that was really pretty. And I did make a huge flower using all of the white ones that I found, and just that little touch of pink in there just makes it look so sweet. Oh, I just went to town making flowers. When I see all these, I'm like, petals, oh, let me pick up all these petals. But it was so fun finding all of these bivalves here. So cool. Check that out. There's a few other shellers looking around, picking stuff up. Now this one, I was like, whoa, is that a big rose petal Tellin? But no. Okay, I think that one is a Constricted Macoma. They can get about 1.5 to 2 inches at their max size. And I measured this one exactly at 1.5 inches. So that's fantastic finding that one. I've never found one of those before. But just everywhere were these Tellins just sprinkled. There are a few predatory critters that I'll show you in a little bit that I'm sure had a heyday munching on all of these little bivalves. These look similar to the large pink stridulas I find on the East Coast, but they almost look like these watermelon Tellins that I recently received from my new shell friends Siamata and her sweet daughter Sieta. These are from Puerto Rico where they live, and we were able to meet up for a shell trade, actually with Chalet too, which unfortunately doesn't always work out. Just so much. I'm so busy. But thank you so much, ladies, for these beautiful shells. And Chalet, of course, thanks you as well. And here is our first predatory critter on the move here at Lover's Key. A crown conch, or a king's crown, in all of its fuzzy glory. That little black tip to the left is actually its siphon sticking out. Now, these crowns also can be variable in their own right according to slight color changes between light caramel and dark brown, as well as the spikes. They can have 2 rows of spikes, 1 row of spikes, or no spikes at all. Kind of how I find them on the beach on the East Coast. They don't really have spikes at all. Despite their common nickname, conch, they are actually predatory whelks and not true conchs. True conchs are herbivores, and we can see by its predatory buddy here, the banded tulip, they are doing just fine chomping on their meat. They're not eating any plants. That's why we're finding a lot of beautiful shells along with this whelk, which is also a predatory snail. They're leaving us lots of beautiful Tellins to find in this area. Let's check out this crown Kong. This one looks not as fuzzy as its buddy over there in the corner. I'm starting to make my way back around the pass. So this is right at the beginning. And I like to pick them up with a clump of sand just so they won't retract back in their shell. Usually if I would just grab the shell, they would just retract all the way back. And maybe because I took this one out with the sand, this crown Kong was very friendly. He crawled, I'll show you in a second, he crawled around to the back of my hand, and I just had such a moment with him watching. Look at his foot, that black and white like sheet you see kind of moving along is its foot. And look, he completely gnawed on the sand and everything, and it's kind of like a sticky, like sandy, almost like a cat's tongue. If you've ever been licked by a cat, they kind of have a little bit of that like ridgy, coarse tongue. That's how this felt on the back of my hand. And I couldn't believe he was just moving and looking around. So I just had a moment. And he or she was so friendly. Yep, I named him Spike. Okay, right under its siphon, you can start to see its head. There's its head with its two little tentacles. Just amazing. And it's funny, when we look at the shells, we would always call this like the end of the shell, but technically this is the anterior end, the front side of the shell, and the beautiful part we admire and call the top of the shell is really the posterior end, the butt. That's his backside, very beautiful and spiky, or she. I don't know how to tell the sex apart on mollusk shells. And here's some more gorgeous rose petal Tellins, and I can't believe there was so many. I did find, this was all the pink ones that I found more white ones. But what a beautiful day out here in Bonita Springs. It's just gorgeous. It's starting out at Little Hickory Island, ending up at Lover's Key State Park. And here are the beautiful shells that I found and crafted from my awesome, amazing morning out in Bonita Springs. The Coquina shadow box. I've been wanting to do that for a long time, and I'm so happy I found enough shells to accomplish the task. There's my Junonia piece, missing the larger one, but that's okay. And these 4 coquinas that are on the stand were my favorites out of all the ones that I did find, and I didn't want to glue those to the shadow box. But beautiful little calicos, just gorgeous colors. The Mexican Tellins, it's fun to find some giant bittersweets, rough scallops, the imperial, the chestnut turban, and the curved side of a flat scallop. Look how pink this ended up being. I got it a little bit dirty. I soaked it in 6% hydrogen peroxide, and it's just beautifully cleaned. I also released my cleaning video last week, so check that out. A lot of people have asked, how do I get my shells looking like this in these displays? Well, it's all there. Check it out. Look at the iridescence on these rose petals. They're so pretty. Not all of them had that, but it's like that outer layer did have a little bit of the sheen. Really pretty. And I made a flower out of the rose petal Tellins that I did find on this trip, and put that shark eye smack dab in the center, and I mounted it on the little cockle. Here's what I used for all of the white rose petal Tellins, and I'm so happy how they turned out with a little touch of pink. I did mount these flowers that I made on foam balls because you could sink the shells a little bit deeper in them when you needed to, and there's just more control on making it round because I really wanted to keep the structure on these shells like nice and round. Look at the calico one, just I just love this one. This is like probably my favorite, one of the favorite flowers that I've made, and I did turn the shells out. You can see around the edges. I have like a transition row where I kind of would alternate between turning them and then just facing them all up, and I love how it came out. And this was a labor of love. This took a lot longer than I thought because I had to lay them all out, then adjust them, then glue them down. This was a labor of love, and I am so happy how this turned out to have a memory of all the coquinas that I found hinged. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, I leave you with this.